Would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Roberto Ortega, and I'm from Anthony, New Mexico, and I am a farmer. I have been a farmer for 30 years or so, and I farm here Chamberino and La Mesa. Of course,
Who did you bring with you today?
this is my son, Bobby Ortega, Jr.
And let's start. Could you tell me a little bit about your experience with USDA?
Yes, I had some bad experiences with them. I went with them to borrow money because I couldn't borrow money elsewhere, and I was approved and filled out all the paperwork and everything that I had to do, and the loan did come through. They would lend me money, and it was very late where I couldn't operate. Luckily, I had some other ways that I could borrow and mortgage things that I had so that I could continue till I got the money from them. If I haven't had what little bit I had, I would have never made it in the farming business.
Now, how does USDA treat Anglo farmers?
Well, I wish they treat me like they did them, because they would go in there in the same day. I won't say they got the money in the same day, but pretty much, because I was doing some work, custom work for a Anglo farmer, and I asked him about that, and I told him how long it took me. I didn't get the money till the end of the year. He couldn't believe it. He said, well, I go in there and get it right away.
Now, in this last election, who did you vote for?
Well, I voted for President Obama, and he is my president. And I've never had any pictures of any presidents in my house. But now you can walk in my house and you see him in a frame, because I know I voted for the right president.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but President Obama recently gave $1.25 billion to the black farmers who've also been discriminated against. What has he done to help the Hispanic farmers?
Well, it's real simple. He's just been in there too short of a time, and he doesn't know that we are hurting. But once the word get to him, he will help us.
Now, if President Obama were here today, what would you tell him?
What would I tell him? I would have nothing but praise for him.
And what would you ask of him?
I would ask him about this business of discrimination we had with USDA. They have discriminated against us since I've been with them. And it's got the time where I cannot borrow any money from them because I graduated. Although I have never been late with my payments. I have always paid on time. But yet now they will not lend me any money.
And what would you like to see the result of this lawsuit?
Well, we have lost so much. For instance, my son had lost everything. USDA took over his equipment, and because he could not pay them, because they would not lend him the money until the end of the year, he lost the farm that he was leasing, and he had already bought tractors, a baler, and farm equipment. And when he couldn't make of course he couldn't make the notes because he wasn't farming. USDA took him.